Hey yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Tenyo Scene 1 and today we're back with yet another FPS tutorial finally. And basically we'll be covering the FPS switching, weapon switching, which you guys have been asking for so long. No, I don't really have any other weapon rig set up. I don't have any pistols or shotgun rigs or anything like that. I can't really animate stuff as I said so, and I really, all that kind of stuff. And maybe I should have asked someone, but yeah, I think I'll prepare next time. But for the time being, we're just gonna use what we have at hand. You will most likely have to download the more FPS modern weapons from the not FPS modern weapons, I guess, from the devassets.com website. So we'll be using those. And other than that, it's raining outside here, as you can probably hear. We can probably hear like a lot of noise, and stuff. So it's just, I hope you don't mind that. But it's actually, the weather is actually amazing, and I love it, man. And with this wallpaper, it matches even better. Like I would love to just go outside and just, yeah, definitely take a shower in this rain. I guess, just yeah, I guess I don't know. I think I'm gonna go outside soon, just after I'm finished recording this video. So let's like get this done soon. So I hope it doesn't stop raining any sooner. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, that's that. So let's get started. Alright, so I hope I don't mess up this time, but yeah, I also set my microphone from a decent distance from my mouth, so I don't really speak right into it and just mess up the audio quality halfway through the video, whatever. That doesn't really matter though. But so the thing today we're gonna do is we're gonna basically add another weapon. That's gonna be like the FPS, the modern weapons you can download from devassets.com. So once you download it, you can import the package and you'll have different weapons. The AK-47 belongs from the same exact package. I'm going to be using the M4 here, and you can use any other weapon, but you'll have to configure it for yourself. You won't be exactly going into configuration or rigging or animating or anything like that. We just want to concentrate on scripting the weapon switching. And we also just want to concentrate on basically setting up the new weapon and getting stuff right in place and stuff. So what I want to do is right here we have our weapon. Just to set up a new weapon, what we can do is we can click on this and we can press Control D, or just right click duplicate. Basically Control D is the shortcut key for duplicating. And we can click on the our AK-47, the default one, and just disable it so it gets out of the way. So this new weapon, this is going to be our M4. You just rename it to something like, FPS M4. Now, please don't sue me if I get stuff wrong regarding weapons, because honestly, I'm not really that knowledgeable when it comes to weapons and stuff. So, yeah, just don't sue me for that. But yeah, so let's go ahead and basically, it has all the stuff set up by default. So it has the hit sparks, it has the bullet hole, the flare, which is present there, and all that. So if you click on the flare right here, you see it takes you to the bone, the AK-47, and the flare. So the thing you can do is you can basically go ahead and select your M4. So I have my M4 here, and I can just drag and drop it inside of my AK-47. So it just puts it there and just rotates it and all that kind of stuff. I can just scale it down, so the scale 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, still too big. So just press R, you can get this scale handler and all that, and then you can just kind of scale it down, I guess. And press F to focus. Okay, so pretty cool stuff, right? You can just scale it until you think it's fine. I just think I won't be really, tweaking it that much. Maybe I'll tweak it later, but for the sake of the tutorial, I'll just probably tweak it just a little bit. Maybe rotate it slightly like that. Let's go to the game view and see how things look. It's looking it's looking decent. It's not looking that bad actually. So yeah, we basically have this. I can go ahead and delete the AK-47 now, and don't forget to save the scene. So if I go inside of the game, I've basically muted the audio. Let me just turn this down so I can, at least, not blow my ears and stuff. So All right, so you can see it's basically working. You know, we basically have a new weapon, and you know, now normally when you set up a new weapon, you basically have separate animations for that particular weapon as well. In this case, as I said, so it won't be animating, so that's kind of the way it is here. But yeah, so we have a weapon and stuff. We have its animations basically, and also you see you can see the shadows of the weapon down there. So what we can do is we can select the weapon, go to the mesh renderer, and just say cast shadows, set it to off, and that's it. So you won't really see shadows there. So yeah, that's that. Now what we want to do here is that we actually want to go ahead and obviously create a script so we can switch between the two weapons which we have. So let's go to our scripts folder and go to, well, let's just go to the weapon folder and let's create a new script, C# script. I'm going to call this weapon manager. Let's open it up. Okay, great stuff. So before I do anything, I'm just gonna set it up like that. All right, and just for the sake of personal preference, don't mind me. Great stuff. All right, so the weapon manager basically will have, you know, will basically have this list of weapons which we have. So what we can do here is we can create a list of game objects. So like you know, in this case I'm just gonna use serialized field. Is better to use serialized field. I pretty much covered this in my photon tutorial series, but you know, in case those who never watched that video or that series, just know this, that you want to, you know, just use private variables when just almost everywhere, when only use public properties. So yeah, so you don't want to edit, you know, you don't want to declare public variables everywhere. We'll probably clean that up later, but let's do it. So I want to create a private game object array. So if I add these square brackets, it just makes an array. So list of game object. I mean, lists are kind of different, but you know. And I want to name this weapons. So this will be basically all our weapons. So we can populate this array inside of our actual game. So there's a difference between arrays and lists, but yeah. So let's go ahead and let's basically create something so that we can actually disable all the weapons by default and equip the very first weapon, right? Also, before doing it, we want to create another variable. So serialized field, by the way, means that this field will display in the editor, so you can edit it from the editor, right? But because it's a private, you know, you can't edit it from any other script or anything. Okay, so yeah, you know, we don't want these. We don't want to edit the weapons list from any other script. This will just be defined once and all that inside of the editor. So I'm going to create a new private integer, and we're going to call this index. Index is going to store our currently equipped index. Now do remember, array start at 0. So because array start at 0, the very first weapon which we will equip will be at 0 index, basically. Okay, so like for example, if I have 2 weapons, it will go, the array would go like 0 and 1. It wouldn't go like 1 and 2. All right, so now I don't want any LUA. I'm sorry, Lua, or whatever. Developers are saying array index starts at 1. Please no. That's a nightmare. But anyways, I'm just kidding. All right, so let's create a new function which will basically initialize our weapons, and let's call it initialize weapons. I hope I don't mess up with the spellings and shit, because this is gonna be so awkward, right? So what we want to do is we want to basically disable all the weapons at first. So we want to go ahead and play a for loop. Now to create a for loop, you can just write for and tab inside, like tab twice inside of a Visual Studio. But if you're having problems with that, you know, we can just kind of create it manually. So for integer I, so there's an I, which is equal to 0 by default. All right, this is like a for loop. Basically, it iterates, it repeats through a list of given objects, or like it basically repeats through the specific number of times. So it starts at 0, and it's gonna go like if I is less than weapons dot length to get the length. So if it's less than that, so length is not related to index, it's not related to 0, 1, 2. It's like if I have 2 weapons, the length is 2, basically. So in that terms, the loop is going to execute 2 times. So we're going to say if it's less than that, we're going to add into the I, and we're going to play this loop, basically. So each time it plays, it's going to add 1 into I until it's, you know, until it reaches the weapon dot length. So it plays 2 times and stuff like that. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to disable all the weapons. So we're going to say weapons, weapons, I.setActive false. So we're going to disable all the weapons at the start. Now what we want to do is we want to equip the very first weapon. So after the loop is done, it's done executing, we can say weapons, sorry, not I, my bad. Weapons 0 dot set active true. So that way we're basically getting the very first weapon in the array, and we're just setting it active, so we're enabling it, we're just equipping that weapon, basically, you can say. And we want to execute this function at the very start. So whenever the game starts, no matter which weapon we have, we'll just equip the very first weapon. So there's that. All right, so let's kind of go, let's actually finish scripting before we jump back into the editor, right? So now how we can actually switch between weapons is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a new function. Call this weapons or like switch weapons. All right, this is going to be basically more or less the same as more or less the same as the initial weapons. It's going to disable all the weapons first, and then it's going to select the current index weapons, the current ID and stuff like that. So what I can do is I can copy this, I can paste that here. All right, and I can basically pass in an integer value, so int new index. Meaning, what it's going to do is going to disable all the weapons, and it's going to activate the one which is at the new index, which is basically the weapon we're trying to equip, you could say. So what we can do here is we can make it based on either scroll wheel based, or we can make it based on input, like 1, 2 and stuff, or both, obviously. So what we can do is we can say, all right, input, if input dot get mouse, no, I think it's get axis, mouse scroll wheel. I honestly don't remember, but let's see. And yeah, it's greater than 0.1. Let's make it like it's greater than 0. So if we're scrolling upwards, basically, you could say, or like we can basically also say it's not equals to 0, but let's make it scrolling upwards. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, all right, index plus plus. So we add 1 into the index, which is our index, value and stuff. And what we can do is we can go ahead and we can say switch weapons index. So this is gonna enable our current, our new weapon, you can say, basically. Now one more thing which we can do is to avoid the index from going above the count. So basically index is related to the array length. So I have 2 weapons. The first one is index 0, second is index 1. What if index goes to 2? If it goes to 2, basically it'll throw an error. It'll say that you can't find that particular object in the array. We don't want that to happen, so we can basically limit it. So if index is greater than weapons dot weapons dot length minus 1, or like weapons dot I don't know, it's greater than or equals to, I guess, weapons dot length, then we basically want to say that index equals 0. We want to go back to 0 or something, and then we want to switch the weapon and stuff, stuff like that. Now it's not the cleanest code, but I guess that works, right? So let's go back into the editor, and let's go to we can go to the main FPS controller, or we can just go to the weapon holder. It doesn't really matter where you put the weapon manager. I guess I'll just put it here just for the sake of ease of use. And what we can do is we can populate this list by dragging and dropping. So I can drag and drop the AK-47, and I can drag and drop my M4 on the weapons here. And when I start the game, I hope it works. You can see by default I've equipped AK-47. I scroll up, I can equip the M4. I scroll up again. You can see basically I'm able to switch between weapons. Now there is no delay when you switch between weapons, so as you can see it's extremely fast, which is not right, obviously. So what we can do is we can actually add in some delays. We can actually make the switch weapon, or like we could say switch weapon after delay. We can create a new function which will switch the weapon after, for example, 1 second, 2 seconds, 0.5 seconds, anything like that. So we can create a new serialized field here, and we can call it float, public private float, switch, or switch delay, I don't know, something like that, And then what we can do is we can go ahead and we can basically say that, all right, Okay, now, I don't believe we have covered coroutines or anything like that, enumerators and stuff. Basically, what those are is you can say you can basically instead of creating custom timers, which I believe we did before, we can basically execute an I coroutine or something like that, which will allow us to you can say add some delay without manually creating a variable and store the timer value and adding into it and stuff like that, right? So what we can do is we can create another variable and we can call another boolean. I can call it is switching, just to store if you're currently switching the weapon or not. So instead of playing this here, we're gonna create a new variable function, and we're gonna play it there. So we're gonna say create a new I enumerator, and we're gonna basically call this switch after delay. And that's that, right? So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna basically wait for a couple of seconds, and the command for that is yield return new wait for seconds, and the time we define, which is switch delay. So we're gonna wait. Sorry, my bad. Switch delay. We're gonna wait for whatever time we define here. Let's give it a default of 1 second. All right. Once we're done waiting, we're gonna actually go ahead and we're gonna play this function. All right. And also, let's give it a integer new index, let's say. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start executing the switch weapon right here instead of executing it here. Now, coroutines, you can't really exactly execute these. So like this has a return type of void. This has a return type of I enumerator. You can execute them normally like voids or like basic methods. What you need to do is you need to go ahead and you need to say start coroutine. And you can say switch weapons. Like basically this is the so start coroutine. It like starts the coroutine. I guess that makes sense. And the name of the function, which is switch weapons, and the variable the value which we need to pass in, which is our index value. So wait, what does it say? It's gonna convert void to. Oh yeah, my bad. Sorry. Sorry. Switch after delay. We're playing this. And this in turn is playing the switch weapons for us. So we don't need to execute that there. Again, we need to do another thing, is we need to make sure to not execute the coroutine constantly. So if I keep scrolling upwards, I don't want to execute constantly and stuff. I want to wait for a little bit. And if I can start executing constantly, what it's going to do is going to keep on playing the coroutine. It's going to play it multiple times before I know it. And this might become quite bad, really weird and stuff like that. So what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and say, okay, is switching. We are switching the variable weapon, sorry. We can't do anything unless we're done switching, basically. And once we're done switching, we're going to just say that is switching is false. So we're no longer switching, right? And we're also going to what we also want to do is we want to make sure that when we're scrolling, we want to make sure we are not switching already. Okay, so when we start switching the weapon, it's going to say, all right, we're switching after the switch delay, which is 1 second. It's going to say we're no longer switching, and switches, and we basically switch the weapon finally. It's kind of a basic thing, but sometimes it can get confused and stuff. So let's go ahead and see if we can actually work with it and stuff. So if I scroll, I say no matter how fast I scroll, I gotta wait 1 second. So there's that. You can, in between that, you can basically add your own custom animation or something to the weapon and stuff like that. So like I can go ahead and make it 0.5, I could scroll and you can just see it's just scrolled and stuff, no problem. No matter how fast I scroll, until it's done switching, it's not going to switch twice or anything. So now this only works when I'm switching, when I'm basically, what you can say, doing it forward, switching, or like scrolling my wheel upwards, I guess. So we can also create a similar function. We can basically, go ahead and pack all this in a different function, which we can say switch to a new weapon, or basically, I don't know, man. I'm terrible with names. I should get my name thingy going. But we can basically say else if it's actually less than 0 and we're not switching, and we can do that. So if the index here, we want to change something. So if the index is less than or equals to 0, we want to set it to weapons.length. Oh my god. Come on, weapons.length -1. Now, why are we setting it to weapons.length -1 is because arrays, remember, length and array, they're different things. So like index and array and like stuff. So here I have an array of 2 elements. but you can see the elements start at 0 and 1. So if I make it based on, you know, I say that if it's less than or equals to 0, and I go to weapons.length, which is 2, then it's going to say there's no such element which exists at the third position, or the element 2 position, which is this one, basically. You can add another element, you know. Let's go ahead and let's see how we can do stuff. All right, I can switch the weapon. Yep. I can switch it by scrolling downwards, and well, we're out of index, I think. Yeah, that threw an error. Let's see. If it's less than or equals to 0. Oh yeah, my bad. It's supposed to be minus. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's that. There's that. Okay, let's go ahead and see. So I scroll upward, I scroll downward. You know. Okay, the scrolling downward doesn't work really well, but yeah. I guess it kind of works. It's less than or equals to that. Okay, so I figured out the problem. The problem is that the indexing, it actually should be less than 0 and not less than equals to 0, because if it's actually equal to 0, which is there is an element at the 0 index as well, or you know, 0 position at inside of the array, so it will basically return to the max length of the array, and that we don't really want that. Okay, you want it to be like if it's less than 0, so if it goes into -1, for example, then we want to basically, you know, go ahead and do stuff. So basically here, you might see everything looks really different. Don't worry about that. It's basically that for the sake of debugging, for example, if there are private variables, which you can't see in the inspector, or the editor, or well, the inspector, I guess that makes sense, but what you can do is you can right-click on your inspector view, which is normally like this. You know, you can right-click and switch to debug mode, and you can actually see those private variables and basically observe them. So basically I can see the index variable here. If I scroll up, it's 1, and it says switching is true. Scroll up again, it's 0, and we're switching. And as you can see, switching basically, you know, it stays for as long as we're switching, for which is 1 second. If I make it 0.5 seconds, you know, it'll be a lot faster, you know. So yeah, there's that. So we are basically done. Now you can go ahead and start playing with, you know, the weapon values and whatnot. Now it's not perfect, as you can see. The audio kind of cuts off, so I guess that's kind of a bad thing. You can go ahead. I think we're not doing play clip at point, but we probably should do that. Yeah, we should start playing the clip at point instead of play one shot, I think. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, we're basically done. So you can go ahead and you can play around with the values for this one. So basically, I can maybe make it a crazy fast rate or something, which I probably don't want to do, or I could just set it to semi, you know, I don't know, man, you know. So yeah, this is not fast enough, man. We gotta go faster. Alright. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, that was it. That wasn't so bad now, was it? Yep. So, that's basically it. You might want to basically play around with the aim position and stuff yourself for the time being. I'll probably fix it in the next video, but yeah, as you can see, the aim position doesn't work properly. So you might want to change those values and actually get it working yourself. But yeah. And I really should start thinking about putting this project on GitHub or something like that, so you guys can fetch it and you can actually play around with it yourself, and maybe you can help improve it, you know, and all as well for the others to come and for other people as well. Maybe if you want to share it or anything, if you want to get quick started or anything. It's not really a big project. It's not really really that much of a good project, but you know, still. It's something for starters, for beginners to learn and stuff, I guess. I kind of went a bit overboard with the explanation, I guess, with the core routines, which it might take you some time to digest all this, but I hope you guys were able to understand something. You know, basically just think about these as you know, using them when you need to make use of delays, timers, something like that. You know, now you can use them when you want. You can use them in a moderate amount. Don't just, you know, fill your script with delays and stuff like that. That's probably not the way to go with, but you know, still pretty good for that. All right, and yeah, so you have a switch weapons, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And this is annoying me. And yeah, basically, I will see you in the next one, I guess. I'm really excited to show off my updates, man. I don't know when to start showing off updates. I've got like so much cool stuff. Got AI, got all sorts of stuff. I want to show that stuff here. I'm sorry, man. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out. Oh, I'm off to go outside in the rain. Oh, it's still raining. Thank goodness. I'm gonna take a bath. A rain bath. Yes. Heavens. Oh, shoot, I'm still recording.